I've heard worse. Let's go ahead and get this party started. So, like I said, again, if you didn't see that I changed the title is Should Black People Be More Grateful? This video, which looks like a TikTok, but what looks more like a video, it starts off with a woman from Africa who came over to the United States, and she was feeling that the Black community was not grateful compared to where she came from. But you'll notice that the more she stays over here and the more that she starts learning what's going on in the history, then she starts understanding. However, then we have a commentator who comes in at the end, and you'll see.
Even though I want to disagree with you, I get where you're coming from. When I see Black people talking about racism, all that stuff, I'm like, what is wrong with these people? You guys have food, you have EBT, all this thing, and you're here shouting about somebody is racist too. Just leave that person and move on. I feel that way. Like, why are they always like complaining? But when Black Lives Matters started happening, like, I sat down, I said, I need to actually know why these people are pained. And if we look at the history, what they've done to them, like if you actually sit down, watch some documentaries, how they were maltreated, I don't think if I'm actually born, I will forgive those people. I don't care. It's easier for us Africans that were raised in Africa to feel like they're complaining because we were raised through struggle. Like I barely even have water, and you have water, you are complaining. But then it's not about the basic necessity or about how we are raised. We are raised like, I don't want to say way better. We might not have resources, but there are some way, like our own people will not look down on us or put us behind. So it's in they're nurtured that way. Like they just can't overlook it. And if you sit down and watch everything that the forefathers have been through for you, I changed my mind. No, they need to be angry. However, they should still move forward.
This is something I think about a lot. And yeah, I do think about it a lot. I'm like, why are we always complaining? Now, I'm a Black American. Like, all my family is from here. Generations. I'm talking about hundreds and hundreds of years. I ain't got no family from nowhere else. Maybe my fifth grandfather was from Jamaica or some Caribbean island. But for the most part, all my family is from here. So I'm speaking from a person whose lineage is from here. I had a debate with my dad, and I was like, yo, Dad, no matter how much good or how much they try to right the wrongs, we always find something to complain about, like she was saying. Like, why would anybody want to do anything nice for you? And I hear what she's saying. I believe in forgiveness, so I do forgive. But why would anybody want to do anything nice for you or even try to right the wrongs in any capacity, in any way, if you're just going to turn around and find something else to complain about? So in a sense, should we even receive anything good from them? Any type of benefits, EBT, whatever type of reparations they try, should we even receive it? Because if we're not going to be appreciative, then what's the point? We have valid reason for why we're frustrated, but it's like either we just be self-sufficient or we figure out a balance. What do y'all think? What I'm saying is that we have valid reason for why we're frustrated, just like she said. But why do we continue to complain? We have accomplished a lot. Our ancestors have accomplished a lot for us. We have so much to be thankful for, all the things that they worked hard and sacrificed themselves for us. So why are we still complaining? We should be happy, right? I don't know. What's up?
So go ahead, Theo.
No, so this is it's a good discussion to have. It's important, but you need to make sure that when you're having this discussion, you're doing it with one inside the community, two, with good intentions, right? Because this is obviously a young man who he's intelligent, but he's not learned, right? He's speaking through his interpretation, through his own lived experiences, and you can see where his insights are coming from, but he's not balancing it with reality and the weight of not just history, but the weight of the very nature of the struggle. You see what I'm saying? So, starting off with the sister of the continent. Let me. Sorry, looks like I might lose my connection, so I'm trying to fix that. So, starting off with the sister from the continent, and correct,
Uh-oh.
am I still there?
You back now? Yeah.
Am I good? Okay.
Yep.
This is an experience I've had having conversations with some people from the islands. I mean, from the continent. They have a completely different lived experience, and so when you talk about various portions of Africa, when you're poor, right? Am I still on? I don't. All right. Well, I hope I am. All right. So they come through a different struggle piece, but they can't quite relate to what our story is because they were never in a situation where they were enslaved. What they were was subjugated. What they were was colonized, right? But they were still the majority in their land. So they were able to retain their culture. They were able to retain their families. They were able to do all those things. And then they come here to America and they see that we have the foundational things, right? There's a measure of a social safety net. There's a measure of, I mean, like I had a lady tell me this once when I worked at the bank. She was like, when you're hungry, you can technically still get food. If you're sick or you're hurt, you could technically still go to the hospital. Whereas where they're from, can't do that, right? So that's where that concept of complaining comes from. Until they realize that the only reason you are here is because of us. The only reason that America will let you immigrate to this country, and when you immigrate into this country, you don't come in a servant slave status, it's because of us. It's because of our struggle. It's because of the death and the destruction that we have suffered throughout the years. So that's where this lady was kind of helping her own community see that transition piece. Slow down and take yourself out of it and actually start to look and see what's going on. And you might have a new perspective because what's normal to you is not normal to the next person. See, to be an American is supposed to have a certain level of social currency. We're supposed to be Americans. Okay. So that means I'm not going to compare myself to what you're doing in Botswana or India or Cairo. I don't know. I'm not comparing myself with you because I'm an American. So I'm comparing myself to what America says an American should have. All the privileges of being an American should be mine as well. So we're fighting over the fact that we don't have those. We're fighting over the fact that we are murdered and killed and disappeared and no one bats an eye, even though we're being killed by the very people we pay taxes to. We're up in arms because we're in communities that make it so we can't qualify for the loan. It's not that we can't run a business. We can't qualify for the damn loan to start the business. So we always have to start our businesses basically from scratch, which means you're starting a business undercapitalized, which means that the first hiccup or bump in the road, you go out of business. That means that you have to charge your consumer base more because you're not able to buy in bulk. You have to buy at cost. See what I'm saying? So that's where some of those things have to be recognized if you're going to have a real conversation. Now I'm going to flip over to the American cat. All right. So this is a situation where he said two words that stuck out to me: complaining and appreciate. So he's already kind of broken in his mindset. He's centering whiteness. He's saying, look at what these good white folks have done for us. Yeah, they've been bad in the past, but right now they're not. And it's like, bruh, do you not understand how systemic oppression works? Do you not understand obstacles? Do you not understand the web of things that afflict you? So even though you yourself may be doing okay, like I myself am doing okay, right? But that doesn't mean that that's the same experience for the majority of our people. That doesn't say, it doesn't mean that our normal and the white normal is the same, because it's not, right? You can be average and white and have a good life. But to be black and have a good life, you must be above average. Average and black is not going to let you walk into an average life. Most of our people in America, more than 40% of the African American population lives at or below the poverty line. Then, if you move up to the next level, most of those people don't make more than a household income of $80,000 a year. Household. Now, you compare that to our white counterparts, and the median income or household asset value, for white America is 250,000. That's the median value. Our median value is like 80 grand. Now you tell me how that's commensurate, right? But it's hard for you to get into this conversation if you want to start every conversation from here, because you don't understand that the time value of money, which is how our economy works, this is how investments work, right? You invest a little bit here and you hold on to it and you let it grow over time. Okay, well, what's the real commodity here? It's time. It's your primary investment and time. Well, black people in America, by law, for most of the country, could not own land in many places until the 1950s and 1960s. So that means the country starts in 17 whatever, 200-year head start before we can even start to make the principal investment. We have 100 years for our investments to start to compound versus someone else who has had 150, 200, 300 years for theirs to compound. There's also such thing as a time opportunity cost, right? So if you have a situation where while we were in bondage, while we were subjugated, while we were under the apartheid system, we could not own land, we could not purchase real assets, we could not own the mineral resources of this country, that means only one group could. Well, if only one group could hold those things, once they're held, they're held. Once you own the mine, you own it. Once you own the forest, you own it, right? You make paper, right? You know, I'm trying to make a toy car out of wood. You make paper, man. No, matter of fact, you make money making trees. It's not the same game. So what I would say with that young brother is we'd have to just sit down and help him kind of pull some more pieces together so that he could see beyond himself and understand that your life is anecdotal. We got to get you to look at the group.
All right. Let me answer this question real quick because Parker is in and he thinks this is a pre-recorded episode. Nope, this is a live episode. We do Friday night, guys, every Friday before a holiday. So the next Friday night, guys, will be before Labor Day, I guess. Yeah. I'm you know. Yeah, it's Labor Day because now we're into the every other month when you get a holiday now. 40 acres means more than most people realize. Screw the mule on second thought. Don't do that. But since you did bring up 40 acres, here's a. I get where the lady was coming from, but if you've been watching this show long enough, you know I hate that argument of finding worse than to make your situation, to make your lifestyle, to make another person, to make another place, to make another country, whatever, your economics. You're not making a very good argument when you have to go to the worst to make your situation look better. It's not fair. If somebody's in the housing projects and barely scraping by, and you have to make a choice between eating or paying your light bill, you can't walk up to them and go, well, it's better than being homeless. Well, okay. I guess. So that's just for the lady. That's just one of my pet peeves. I just never liked that argument.